Alright, YouTube, it's me, David Harry, your favourite YouTuber and vlogger. So what I'm doing here is another one of my preliminary tests with the DJI Action 2. And what I'm doing right now, very specifically, is testing like what I've noticed to be the best compromise for the difference in kind of like picture sharpness, shall we say, or softness, or lack of, or more of thereof, but basically against the field of view and the stabilizer. Because what I've noticed is, depending upon the field of view and stabilization that you're using, the picture can go quite soft. So what I've got here is wide with steady stabilization. And just to start this off with right now, I'm also in D-Cinelike. And the reason why is because all of the DJI Actions from the 1 to 2 and 3, they all basically crush detail. Do you know what I mean? They basically crush blacks and stuff like that. I'll do a video about that as well, because the thing is, people are kind of referring to that as dynamic range. It's not really dynamic range, those types of like negative things that you see. But I'll do a bit about that in another video and kind of go into a bit of technical detail about stuff like that. But nonetheless, these actions tend to have the tendency to kind of crush shadows and stuff. So what I'm doing right now, I'm kind of deliberately walking in and out of lit areas and stuff, or direct light or shadow, and then having it so that, as for instance, right now, the background doesn't have any direct kind of sun behind it or any kind of illumination which is bright, such as the sky. Whereas if I turn this way and like point the camera up that way, you know, behind me, then there is, although that's not direct sunlight, the sun is that way, there is a lot of like light coming from the sky. So I'm still trying to work out like the best like kind of things and settings and whatnot for me best kind of like exposure, but more importantly to try and kind of get around that whole thing where I'm getting like crushed shadows and stuff like that. So far I've not really tested for like things blowing out and things like that, or just things going too bright or anything like that. But like I say, these are all kind of incremental tests in what I'm doing in order to kind of get a really good feel as to what the Action 2 is doing as far as its like, you know, its exposure routine is concerned. Now of course, during these tests I will indeed do stuff like manual settings and stuff like that. However, you know, for the likes of this thing where you're walking around doing a vloggy thing, and especially with what I'm doing here in the park where you're going to be going in and out of shadowed areas and stuff like that, and into like, you know, direct sunlight and all that kind of thing, you cannot be doing manual settings for your exposure. It's just not going to work. You'll be stopping and starting every few seconds, and that's not really conducive to a good off-the-cuff vlog. Anyways, and nonetheless, what I've done so far is use D-Cinelike just to see, you know, what this is going to do and whatnot. I've also heard some people saying that with other actions, D-Cinelike can also soften the picture as well. So on that point, I really need to see if it does that with the Action 2, and especially that might actually do that in particular fields of views and stuff like that. Hence another test that I'll be doing along those lines. Anyways, what I will do now, I will switch over to the normal color profile. Okay, so I've now switched over to the normal color profile, and again I will just walk around in this little area here and effectively replicate exactly what I've just been doing while I was in D-Cinelike. So we should get an idea of maybe any immediate differences, or, you know, like noticeable differences and stuff. So what I'm going to do is walk around here a little bit again, and I will just pick up my tripod in a second, which I've just used to come out with, and do some comparisons between the Action 2 and the Hero 11. They were actually specifically comparisons for the microphones. I'll also do picture comparisons, although that is going to be extremely unfair because the Hero 11 just happens to be a really good action camera, or indeed a very good small camera. So what I'm going to do here again is just get into that position where there's no kind of like direct light or reflected direct light off sky and stuff behind me, get an idea of what that's like. Then I will turn around here again and we'll get that sky up behind me. Let's just see what that's doing as far as like the automatic exposure routine is concerned for the Action 2 here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just go and pick up my tripod. Then I'll kind of walk in and out of some shadowed area with the trees and stuff. I've not done that with the D-Cinelike, but you know, I'll be here all day if I try every single possible variation and combination and stuff. But again, you know, this should give me a good idea as to, like, you know, a starting point for where I should be going with other tests with this camera. Now, just to kind of, like, you know, walk and talk this one out, like I've just said, I'll go into some shadowed areas and stuff like that. So this whole thing has been set completely fully auto for absolutely everything, and it's only been, you know, the picture profiles that have been swapping, and I've remained within wide and steady for everything here. Where I am right now is quite shaded, so it may well have gained up here and stuff. What was I going to say then? I thought of something really cool to say there, so it just didn't sound like I'm keeping on rabbiting on. Squirrel! There's a squirrel. So I'm not keeping rabbiting on about stupid stuff, and I just nearly slipped on my ass again in mud. I always say this when I'm doing this stuff in the park about slipping on my ass in mud. I actually have done it a few times. That I didn't just slip on mud, I just nearly broke my ankle, right? What it is, this park is actually a death trap as well as it being a very muddy place. Right, hold on, I'm trying to keep my crap together here. I was going to say the S word, but I'm trying to not swear or use any kind of curse words, like even light profanity like the S word and stuff in these videos. Right, quick jump cut there. What it is, I just nearly went all over my ass in the mud then. What it was, I didn't have my tripod all kind of like folded up, and it got caught on a little branch there, and then he slipped over and went wild, so hence the jump cut. Anyways, I'm going into a really dark area here. Now, the one thing that I would say is I absolutely love the form factor of just using the camera module on its own. Yes, it's got limited battery time and limited record time with the internal storage and that, but I just think it is absolutely unbelievable for a vlogging device. So I'm hoping that after I've done a whole bunch of things to do with my picture testing and stuff like that, I get something out of the picture tests which are going to please me as much as what the microphone does, because the built-in microphone on this is absolutely fantastic for this kind of rough and ready off the cuff vlogging thing. Anyways, I think this will probably round it up for this video, and I should definitely have like recorded enough to have got an idea of what the differences were going to be like with using, what is it, wide with the normal standard steady stabilization, and also the differences between using the normal color profile and also the D-Cinelike. So hopefully off the back of this video I will have some more, you know, like some more examples for myself to, you know, dive into to get a really good idea of where my starting points are going to be for using the Action 2 for a bunch of things, but most notably and mostly for vlogging and all that kind of stuff. Anywho, that'll do it for this video. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.